with another episode of Streetpreneur Podcast. I want to thank all of my listeners for definitely coming back today. We have another great episode for you. We want to talk about taxes. We want to talk about tax planning for new entrepreneurs who are just starting their businesses, and also for established entrepreneurs who've been in business for years. We want to talk about everything from financial planning to just taxes in general. So I want to welcome my next guest. She's been in the business for years. She's the CEO of Ashton Accounting Services, which specializes in financial and tax planning. She's also a new author of a new book that's called Startup to Success. Again, that new book is Startup to Success, and that book covers everything from practical tax tips to strategies for new entrepreneurs. I'd like to welcome my new guest to the show, Mrs. Ashleigh Jade Searless. Did I pronounce it right, or did I butcher it?
So it's Searles, but
Searles.
Everyone always asks me about my last name and how you pronounce it. So thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. And the book is Startup to Success, #2. And it's 7 tax-savvy tips for the novice business owner. So this book is specifically for the novice business owner, but we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff, I'm sure. So
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about in a short period of time, but we're going to get it done.
Okay, let's do it.
Tell us about your personal journey. What inspired you to become a CPA?
Yes. So in regards to my personal journey, I was at Howard University in Washington, D.C. I'm sure plenty of people know about Howard University. And I was taking an introductory business course there. And at the time, my major was communications. And the professor started talking about this liquor store, giving an example about how they were losing money. And I was hooked. I knew that I wanted to go down the path of accounting and help people with their businesses and the financial picture of their business specifically.
Okay. And what were some of the challenges that you faced early on with starting your CPA firm?
Oh my goodness, there's so many. So I would think about marketing, like knowing who I wanted to market to, understanding what type of client I wanted.
Okay.
All of this is the same type of pitfalls that I hear from other entrepreneurs as well. And then some other items is just investing in your business and investing in yourself. So what really helped me build my business is investing in it. And by that, I mean continuous education. So we know that across large corporations have a budget for investing in their people. And I always encourage business owners to continue to invest in yourself. If you want to be at a certain place or a certain spot, you have to rub shoulders with those people that are already at that spot. You have to be willing to invest in educational material to push your business forward. And that's what really shifted my trajectory in regards to my business.
Okay. You're also a new author. This is your first book.
Yeah.
What inspired you to write the book?
So I talked about continuous education, right?
Okay.
So I went to a conference by Jasmine Womack. It was a conference where we learned how to write our book. And if you want to be a thought leader, I looked at other thought leaders such as some of my inspirations are John Hope Bryant. We think of Rashad Ballil, Troy, who Earn Your Leisure. All of these people, Susie Orman, the list goes on. We have Clark Howard here in Atlanta. All of these people have books. So just like how I just talked about, if you want to be in a certain space, you have to take a certain path. And as a thought leader, I said I need to write a book. And so that's what I did. And the whole goal is to continue to write more books. I want to write 5 books in 5 years.
Okay. And just what are some of the common financial mistakes that you see entrepreneurs make when they're businesses, especially new businesses?
Yeah, so the number one, and this is based off of data and statistics as well in regards to small businesses and their risk of failure, it's about cash flow management. And just like in your personal life, we all have to start with a budget. And entrepreneurs have to work on having a budget and having healthy wealth habits. So what I mean by that is you have to have habits dedicated around your business in regards to checking the pulse of what's going on in your business, reviewing the bank statements. Some of my most successful clients, they know everything that's going on with their business in regards to revenue that's coming in, expenses that's going out. And this should just be a part of your weekly habits in regards to checking in on your business.
Okay. And just how should entrepreneurs handle the cash flow management? Is that something like a system that you implement for them? I know you teach it, but
Yeah.
how do they handle cash flow management? I know everybody overspends on credit card spending and applying for business loans, and how important is just having control of your cash flow management?
So I'm naturally a CPA, so I'm more risk averse than a lot of other people that I talk to.
Okay.
And I would say that you want to stay away from loans that have high interest rates, predatory interest rates, of course. But you can always start with an Excel spreadsheet. Like literally, you can download the transactions from your bank and you can export it into an Excel spreadsheet, and you can just start there. You don't need any type of fancy apps. A lot of times I think people want fancy tools to get the work done, but you don't need anything fancy. You can have simple spreadsheets. You can just take time in the morning to look through your bank statements. You don't have to do anything too involved. You don't even have to necessarily have a relationship with a CPA yet. You can read a book and create healthy habits around making sure that your business stays in a good financial place.
Okay. And what are some of the best strategies? We don't want to go deep into strategies, but that they can implement how to use business credit. What is the correct method of how to use business credit? Because a lot of times we use it for personal things and other expenses, for trips and cars and other things. What is the best way to utilize business credit? What should it be exclusively used for?
Yeah, I would say first and foremost, whenever you're going about the process of trying to procure business credit, you need to have a plan in mind.
Okay.
Whenever you have a plan in mind and you need to lay it out on paper, we already know that dreams manifest when you write them down. There's data behind this as well. So if you're going about the business of trying to get business credit, you need to have a plan for how you're going to utilize that business credit. Because if that money comes to you, money doesn't stay with us long if we have a bad relationship with it. It's just it will divorce us very quickly. Yeah. I mean, so you have to have a plan for your money, just like how you have a plan in place for your relationship, or you and your money will part ways.
That's true. Definitely some good advice. Let's go back to the book.
Yeah.
What are some of the important lessons that entrepreneurs will learn once they read this book?
So, oh goodness. So first of all,
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. But you know what? It's a pretty thin book. It's not an overwhelmingly large book. And I did that on purpose because this book is specifically for a non-financial reader. Okay. And it is also meant to give the fundamentals and the basics that I believe every entrepreneur should know. Mm-hmm. A lot of entrepreneurs come to me and they're like, well, I hired an accountant that will handle that. No. It's still your responsibility to understand the tax deadlines. It's still your responsibility to know that your taxes are filed. It's still your responsibility to know who the registered agent of your LLC is. It's still your responsibility to know all of these details. So the book talks about what type of professional do you need to partner with for your taxes. Of course, we have social media. Yeah. We have TikTok stars that give a lot of advice, but a lot of times that advice is very soundbite. And there's a lot of nuances associated with it too. So you have to partner with a trusted professional. And what I mean by trusted is I would usually go with a professional to file my taxes if I were on the outside looking in, someone that has a stamp of approval from my community. And what I mean by a community is financial literacy, and everything we do in life is built on community. So entrepreneurs have to find a trusted community, and then from there you can find a trusted professional that you want to partner with for your taxes. But I can tell you that these professionals are worth their weight in gold because they will help you out in regards to technical advice, making sure that your taxes are filed correctly, giving you practical strategies to implement in your business. And so those are some of the items that I touch on in the book.
Okay. And how has the book helped your company?
Oh, wow. So
I see you on social media a lot. I know you go into a lot of business networking events and conferences. You're really promoting the book heavily.
Yeah.
And so how has the book benefited your CPA firm?
Yeah. So more recently, this past weekend, I went to the Black Women's Conference in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was a vendor there with my book, and I got to talk to some wonderful ladies, some who bought the book and some who we just started conversations. So the book has helped me really move forward relationships and probably partnerships that I would not have been able to capitalize on before without the book. But I've also contributed to some articles based off of having the book, contributed to some other interviews as well. And I have an upcoming interview coming up in about 2 weeks. So it's really helped me build out my whole thought leadership plan.
Okay. Are there other books that you're interested in doing on financial planning in the future?
Yes. So the next book will be about building wealth for your kids. And I hope to have that book released by next year.
So what's your opinion of generational wealth?
Oh, generational wealth is so important.
Right.
It's so.
Some people say it's just sounding cliche, it's just a thing to say.
No.
But we're not actually implementing it or like other races do.
No, and I think we need to turn the corner on that. And I want to help people with financial literacy and making sure that they can build wealth for their kids because it's so important. I feel that a lot of times we were brought up to think that we should go into debt to go to college. And I want my kids to go to college too. But when they come out of college, I don't want them to have not one bit of debt. I want them to walk away from that with an investment and no debt behind them. Okay. And I think that's how we should look at it.
Right. So under the Trump administration now, and the new tax laws changing, so much is changing.
Yeah.
How do you see this being a benefit for entrepreneurs at this time? And just give me your thoughts also on the DEI program. Mm-hmm. Just give me your opinion on it. Will this help entrepreneurs or will it set us back or is it a great opportunity for us to move forward?
Yeah, so in regards to the Trump administration, there's a lot going on right now. I mean, the news is so fast-paced, it's hard to keep track of everything that's going on. You have Doge that has laid off and let go some of the IRS employees.
Yes.
We also have the tax plan that could change. And so a lot of those Tax Cuts and Jobs Act that were in place based off of Trump will expire at the end of this year. Okay. And this leaves me thinking about my clients and how will I plan for them in 2026 and beyond. Mm-hmm. So I also feel like my head is just, I'm all over the place it's on a swivel, trying to track all of the news that's going on for sure. But I can say that in the past, the Trump administration has been, in regards to tax policy, they have been more lenient and there has been more strategies for entrepreneurs. I think that will continue. However, we don't know. There's no finalized details at this time. So that's something that's still just up in the air, and we're waiting to see when it will be finalized. Now, your question about DE&I, what do you mean DE&I and the activities there?
As far as Target and their boycotting of certain corporations.
Oh, yes. I am definitely, I am someone that has been I have been boycotting Target during this time as well, because I think it's very important that we have diversity, equity, and inclusion. Right. I believe those programs are important, and I believe that the best way that we can shift the tide in America is people respect money. And we have to follow the money or not spend our money in certain places.
That's true. I feel the same way. It's definitely a good answer. As far as scaling your business, what is next? You plan on opening more locations with your CPA firm, add more services? Of course, I know you have new books coming under your publishing department division. Mm-hmm. What's next?
Yeah, so what's next for me is definitely the next book about building generational wealth for your family. Mm-hmm. And also, I have a plan to build out an educational program for other people who want to start their own tax business. Okay. And that's one of my other projects that I'm working on. And me and my best friend are also planning on doing a conference. Okay.
And what will the conference be about?
The conference will be about financial literacy. Okay. I've attended a lot of conferences. Like I opened up and talked about investing in my business, but there's details of the conferences that I still felt I was missing, or workshops, or I couldn't necessarily implement the strategies. So we want to build a conference that's dedicated to financial literacy, and people leave that conference knowing that they can implement the strategies immediately and start day one understanding what they need to do with a roadmap.
Okay. Let's talk about financial decisions. What were some of the worst financial decisions you made, and then you learned from them, and then you changed?
Yeah, so one of the biggest ones was when I first started my business, I invested in a marketing plan that just did not work out at all.
Okay.
And that was one of the worst financial decisions that I can think of to date.
What made it not work?
I didn't get not one client from it, not one call. It just didn't work out. It didn't pan out but I would encourage every entrepreneur for me, I'm willing to spend the money, and if it doesn't work out, at least I can write it off and I'm moving on. I don't dwell on it. You have to move forward. Not everything will work out. That's true. That's just, you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, you're going to take risks. That's part of the process. So you have to be willing to do it, and then you move on. You don't look back afterwards.
Okay. Leave my audience with 5 tax tips that they need to know.
Okay. Ooh.
For entrepreneurs.
For entrepreneurs. So let's start off with 5.
Yep.
Number 1, as an entrepreneur, you can save for retirement. You can get a simplified employee pension plan, a SEP. You can open up your SEP before the tax deadline, or you can file a timely tax extension, but you definitely, number 1, need to save for retirement. Entrepreneurs miss that detail. Okay. Saving for retirement is really, really important. And why I say it's very important is because all you're doing is moving that money from your checking account to another dedicated account. I know a lot of people tell me, well, a SEP plan, I can't take a loan from it. That's okay. It's still your money, and you get a deduction for it as well. So why wouldn't you do it? Okay. So that's number 1. Number 2 is I have 3 kids. 3. If you go to my website, which I hope you do for my book, it's www.startup2success.org, number 2. You will see in the videos, my kids are in the videos. My kids get paid. They're employed by my business. They have their own dedicated business accounts, dedicated personal accounts that the money goes into. And I would say that every business owner needs to implement this as well. It's a savings strategy, and it's another strategy for you to be able to push your money into a lower tax bracket. Because as long as you stay under certain income limits, they don't have to file a tax return. So this is where you need to follow up with your CPA or your professional to make sure that you can implement this strategy, but that's number 2. Number 3 is, I would say, invest in your business and invest in yourself. Make sure that you can take that deduction and build your business and scale your business as well, and be willing to focus on continuing education to build your business out. Those are the top 3 that I can think of right now.
Okay, good. Let's talk about penalties and fines, and when the IRS sends you a letter in the mail for auditing. Well, a lot of people try to dodge that. They don't want to deal with it. Can you just tell entrepreneur what are the consequences if you owe for back taxes?
Yeah.
And why you should pay it?
Okay, so number 1, I would tell an entrepreneur, do not ever not respond to the IRS, because the IRS, when you're sent a letter, they're going to continue to send you more letters. And a tip when you're sent a letter is just, guess what? Read it. I have so many people that are unwilling to read a letter from the IRS because they're so scared, and that's on purpose. The IRS has gone about the business of taking down certain celebrities that are in the public light to scare the public. So there's a lot of people that are just scared of the IRS. But what I would say is, first and foremost, read the letter. Every letter also has a code attached to it, and you can Google the code, and it will tell you what the letter is about. So read the letter, Google what type of letter it is, and respond. Make sure that you reach out to the IRS. It is never a good plan to ignore the IRS, because they will continue to send you letters, and they will become more and more aggressive. And then on top of that, all of these fines and penalties have interest and penalties attached to it. So it's best to get it resolved, and the IRS will work with you on a payment plan. They don't always want the money paid in full. They will work with you. So the best advice I have for anyone is read the letter, first and foremost, and then respond and act accordingly. And you can set up a payment plan. You don't have to pay everything in full.
Okay. And tell everyone where they can purchase your book and how they can purchase it.
Yeah, so you can purchase my book on my website, www.startup2success.org. Okay. It's available on Books A Million, is available by the publisher, Book Baby. It's available on Amazon. It's available across all distribution channels, or you can just buy it on my website, and that's where you can learn more about me and my business.
All right, we want to thank you for coming out, for taking time out and educating us on tax tips and financial advice. I'm sure the people that are watching the channel right now and also my listeners on Apple and Spotify are going to learn a lot. Give them your number again, the office number where they can reach you.
Yes, you can reach me at 404-491-9294.
Okay, and thank you again for taking time out of your schedule. You all hit that like, share, subscribe button, and also tune in for the next episode of Streetpreneur Podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Let me...